Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer from English with Jennifer. So, what are we going to talk about? I just gave you a hint. Let's look at different ways we use so in American English. This word is so very common. You'll certainly hear it a lot, so I think you'll find the lesson useful. So can be a conjunction, an adverb, or a pronoun. So as a coordinating conjunction shows a result. Remember my old hairstyle? That's me without bangs. A few different people told me I'd look better with bangs, so I decided to cut my hair a few years ago. Why did I cut my hair? Because a few different people told me I'd look better. So joins two independent clauses together. We use a comma before the conjunction to separate the two ideas. The two ideas could stand alone as separate sentences, but we join them together with so to show the relationship, a result. So means that's why, or for that reason. A few different people told me I'd look better with bangs. So I decided to cut my hair a few years ago. Finish my sentences. Charlie has an important job interview next week, so what will happen? What is he going to do? Becca dropped her phone. Now the screen is cracked, so what is the result? If so introduces a result, then so that introduces a reason for something. It has the meaning of in order to. For example, I wear glasses at the computer so that I can read more easily and protect my eyes from the blue light. Sometimes that is dropped, but we can still understand the meaning from context. I wear glasses at the computer so I can read more easily and protect my eyes from the blue light. Note how we don't need a comma before so that. Finish these sentences. Charlie practiced answering interview questions so that. Why did he do that? Becca bought a screen protector for her phone so that. What was her reason for doing that? How else is so used as a conjunction? So can be a transition word when we speak. You really shouldn't start a sentence with so when you write, but in everyday conversation, it's completely natural. So as I was saying, so let's move on.
So, let's begin.
So, getting back to what we were talking about.
A different transition phrase is even so. We can use this in speaking or in writing. It's somewhat similar to yes, but, or in any case. Becca now has a screen protector on her phone. Even so, she'll need to be more careful. It can still get damaged.
Even so, I think I'm gonna pick Ross.
Well, even so, sometimes you know people.
So can be a very convenient pronoun. We use it to refer back to what we just said. Here's an example. Do you want to study beyond my videos? If so, consider private or group instruction. If so means in that case, and I don't have to repeat my words. They're understood. Here, if so means if you want to study beyond my videos.
If you're genuinely interested in private or group instruction, visit me on Patreon. I have different tiers to meet different needs.
How else can so be used as a pronoun? Well, have you ever heard someone give an order and not explain why it has to be done? It just does. A parent could tell a child that something must be done because I said so. It's like saying, you have to do it because I said you have to do it. The parent has the authority to give this order.
I mean now.
Why?
Because I said so.
Why not? Because I said so.
Because I said so, that's why.
There's a humorous way we can praise ourselves. We can give ourselves a pat on the back with the expression, if I say so myself, or if I do say so myself. For example, this past weekend, my daughter and I created a garden on one side of our house, and I think it looks pretty good, if I say so myself.
How's the coffee?
Now, pretty good, if I do say so myself.
I clean up nice, if I do say so myself.
If I tell you I need 10 hours or so to make a video, what am I telling you? I need more than 10 hours? I need less than 10 hours? I need about 10 hours. We use or so to estimate an amount. It's like about. It's true, I need about 10 hours to make a video, from the time I start writing my ideas to the time I edit captions and press publish. If it's a complex grammar video, I need 15 hours or so, maybe even 20.
Let's do a quick check. Recall the uses of so. Match the words to their meanings or purposes.
There's another way so helps us avoid being specific. We can use only so much or only so many to make a general reference to a limited amount. Budget your time wisely. There are only so many hours in a day. There's only so much one person can do. Go easy on yourself. Here we're using so as an adverb, only so much, only so many. How would you finish these sentences? Every week I only have so many hours to. I need hours or so to. When it comes to, I only have so much patience. Share your ideas in the comments. So much for that is used when something doesn't work out. We start out with strong expectations or good intentions, but then for some reason we can't continue. This is often said with frustration and disappointment. We use so much for plus something positive, something that we wanted. So much for friendship. So much for trust and honesty. So much for that idea.
So much for togetherness.
So much for diplomacy. So much for that idea.
Sometimes you need to guess the meaning of a new expression. Pay attention to tone of voice and facial expressions. Let's practice doing this. Can you guess the meaning of, if you say so?
No. Philanthropy is the gateway to power.
If you say so.
All you need to do is stick to chatting about the weather. If you say so.
Is the speaker confused? Is the speaker agreeing? Is the speaker disagreeing? If you say so, expresses agreement, but with hesitation. The person is reluctant to believe that something is true. Watch those scenes again.
No. Philanthropy is the gateway to power.
If you say so.
All you need to do is stick to chatting about the weather. If you say so.
Guess the meaning of this expression. Is that so?
Is that so?
The two of you are making me and every one of your friends sick.
That's so.
Is that so?
What does it mean when we say, is that so? Are we asking, is that true? Is that good? Is that bad? Is that so is used to ask if something is true. We can use it in anger. Is that so? Or surprise. Is that so?
Is that so?
The two of you are making me and every one of your friends sick.
That's so.
Is that so?
So as an adverb is used for emphasis. It's an intensifier. I'm sure you've heard this use before. Remember my haircut? Well, when I came home from the hair salon, my kids were so surprised. They thought I looked so very different with bangs. Well, now they're used to seeing me this way. So is like very. We can also use so before very to mean extremely. We can use so or so very before an adjective or an adverb.
She's so tired. Don't be so mean.
We can use the structure so, that for emphasis and to express a result. I guess I looked so different that my kids almost didn't recognize me. This is like saying, because I looked so different, my kids almost didn't recognize me. How different? Very different. So different that there was a result. They almost didn't recognize me. By the way, a lot of jokes in American English use the structure so that. For example, they're so rich they don't even know what a penny is. The smallest amount of money they know is a $100 bill. If you search online, you'll find a lot of silly but offensive jokes about people being so dumb. There are some jokes that are part of a ritual where two guys take turns insulting each other's mother, like your mother's so dumb that. There's a whole category of jokes called Yo Mama. Again, they're offensive, but they're meant as a joke. They're not always used to genuinely insult another person's mother. Kids may do this to test their creativity and be silly. Some Yo Mama jokes are really stupid, but sometimes they're so stupid they're actually funny. Here's one I found online. See if you get the humor. Your mama's so stupid she went to the dentist to get a Bluetooth. Here's the final expression. It just so happens that. This expresses good luck or something happening by chance. For example, let's say there's a big concert and you want to go, but you can't find tickets. You want to go to the concert? Well, it just so happens I have 2 tickets and I can't go. I can sell my tickets to you. Isn't that fortunate?
Well, just so happens that I have packed my overnight bag.
Let's do a quick check. Recall the uses of so. Match the words to their meanings or purposes.
There are more uses of so, but we'll end here. Please watch my basic English lesson on so do I for agreement. You can also watch my vocabulary lesson on uses of again, where I explain every so often is like every now and again. Go back and review as needed. Please like and share the video if you found the lesson useful and interesting. Don't forget you can show your appreciation with a super thanks. I also welcome kind-hearted patrons on Patreon. There are different ways you can support my online work and help me keep the channel going. As always, thanks for watching and happy studies.
Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Why not join me on Patreon? And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube.